All right, let's move on to the next question. It says, during rounding, what happens if the digit in the ones value is less than 5? All right, so we're continuing our discussion here on rounding. This is asking us basically step 2, you know, after identifying, the digit and the place value of that needs to be rounded, what's the second step? Well, we start replacing it with zeros. Okay, that's kind of generally the second step to rounding. So I'm gonna kindly just go ahead and say rounding numbers here, so you can get an idea of what's the topic here, right? And we're gonna give you a number in the hundreds place, in the hundreds, right? But once again, we're gonna identify the ones place value. Okay, so we have to see here what values in the ones place value. So we have 254. All right, so this is 254, right? In the ones place value, we have the digit 4. All right, now let's evaluate the 4. Is 4 5 or greater or less than 4? Well, so 4 is less. Okay, 4 is less than 5, so this means that we're going to round down. Basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to replace this 4 with a 0, and that concludes everything. That'll be all 3 steps done. So 254 rounds down to 250. All right. I'll give you 2 more examples. That way you could get a little bit more clarification. Using a number line is always sufficient. It kind of helps you envision it. So here we have 1,611, and we're going to evaluate the tens place value here. So we're going to round to the nearest tenth. All right, and in the tens place value, we have here a 1. All right. And in the tens place value, we have the digit 1. There we go. Now 1 is less than 5. Okay. All right, so we still round down. So what we're going to do is we're going to round down. All right. Now what happens to 1,611 when we round it down to the nearest tenth? Well, we get 1,600. That's it. Simple. We just replace that tens value with a 0 because the digit in the tens place value is less than 5. All right, or 4 or less. We'll say 4 or less, right? So now let's take another number here, 544. Okay, so we're gonna, do the same steps here. All right. Remember, step 1, identify the digit, and the place value. So here we're gonna round up to the nearest hundreds. All right, and in the hundreds place value, we have a 5. All right. So this means that we have to evaluate the tens place value, which is a 4. All right, so let's evaluate the 4. And we decide here 4 is less than 5. So we must round down because those are the rules, 4 or less, you round down. 5 up, you round up. So 544, excuse me, 544 rounds down to 500 when we round it up to the nearest 100. Okay, and this is the denotation for rounding. All right, it looks like an equal sign, excuse me, but it kind of has like 2 squiggly lines, and this is the notation for rounding.